Hey, this is Dan Ludwig. I am the president of RC Ace, and we are here today. We want to do a little video for you guys on how to set up the fields in the proper manner. A lot of times we get them and parents help out and they don't really know how to do it, so we wanted to set it up so you guys watch a little easy video, and it's all here right laid out for you. Now everything's going to either be in that bin or on the south field in that bin over there. My vice president's here will show you what's in that bin.
Hi, Omero Banuelos, Vice President.
Brian Robinson, Vice President.
So in Southfield, you'll have what we have is a hand drag. We'll also have bases and your dugout covers in here. Sorry, not that. This is your helmet covers or holders. Yeah, bases, chocks should be in here as well.
We're at the south field now. Most of the time the chalk is already going to be handled and it's already going to be in a little bucket for you to scoop out. If not, just grab yourself a bag here and you can fill the bucket yourself. Nice and easy, no need to freak out. Just throw yourself some chalk in there, and then you can see the scoop right here. So we've laid out everything that you're going to need. You have the liner boxes, you have the batter's boxes, you got a couple rakes. This right here, that is to do your pitcher's circle. And then you got your bases, and we have your hand drags. And if you need to put in a mound or a pitcher's plate, we have that covered for you as well. Hey, so the reason we like to break up the lines first, and we want you guys to break up the lines first, if you take that hand drag and go right over it, it's just going to spread the chalk around. It's going to make a really tough line for you guys to then line over again. So if you break them up, which is just really simple, then when that hand drag goes over it, it's going to really disperse the chalk throughout the field, and it's going to make you cleaner lines, make it much easier on you. So now, expectation-wise, we don't expect you guys to do the entire field and do, you know, where the umpire stands and stuff. But what we do expect is get around the batter's box and then get anything in the infield. From third base, second base, and in. We want all this redrug and all fresh, just so it's easier for the girls to field and safer for the girls to field. And then if you see anything like this, so back here is the 12U pitching plate. We're on the south field again. And then up here is the 8U pitching plate. So you see a little hole here. So we're going to expect you guys to just fill that in again. Just again, safety for the girls. We want a nice even field for them to play on every time. Just set it up nice and easy for them. Appreciate it.
All right, so now we're setting up the mound for this. We're going to use a 10U distance, which is 35 feet. So when you measure, you always hold the tape measure at the edge of the plate here, the back of the plate. So you should be measuring from this point here out towards the mound.
And then if you can, note that whatever distance you're setting up, the 30 feet, 35 feet, 40 feet, it always goes into the middle of the pitching plate. So it's from the back of home plate to the middle of this pitching plate. That's your distance. And for 10U, we have 35 feet.
Once you set the plate, just take the spikes and the hammer and hammer the spikes in to secure the plate to the ground.
So we wanted to show you how to turn on the sprinklers. Now this is again the south field. The north field has a similar setup. If you don't know where they are, just ask a board member or ask one of your coaches. They'll know where it's at. So just remove this. There's going to be 2 handles in there. Pretty straightforward. Now we recommend having help here. You know, usually setting up the field is a 2 or 3 person job if you can. I have 1 person on each sprinkler right now because they can stick. Ryan, if you want to show them, they're on each sprinkler. And then I'm going to turn them on for you. Now, having two people out there, in case those stick, they're there to turn them for you so we don't create any mud puddles and it stays, you know, we just want a nice glazing over them. So usually we'll want one pass and then one pass back and then shut them down. At the same setup, there's going to be one valve for, it's going to be the infield sprinklers, and then there's one valve for the outfield sprinklers. So it's going to be the same thing, turn them on, and we just want a light dusting. We want one pass and then one pass back just to get it a little damp so it makes it easier for you to rake.
Holes in the bin to find the pegs that the bases go into. Just dig them out. Just expose them from the dirt. And you can set your base.
All right, so the bases are all about 60, well, they are 60 feet apart. So you should be able to find the pegs on each pretty easily just based on the distance. So this is second base about here. So this will be a second base. These are safety bases, so they're meant to break off, but they are actually two pieces. This is the top piece, the bottom piece. When you place the base on the peg, make sure it's in there secure. If it's not, it's going to come off and someone will get hurt. So you got to make sure that this base is solid, and then this cover goes right over that. And again, it should stay on. It's just meant to move for safety issues.
So now that we've got the field de-chalked, hand dragged, and all the bases placed, now we're ready to chalk and do lines.
We just want you guys to note that we do have a field director. So he's going to be the one here running the quads or running the John Deere and doing the big drags on it. That's why we got these hand drags for you guys to do, for ease of setup. So we don't expect you to drive the John Deere. We just want you to do these nice drags, and look what a nice job it does. And you get a little workout, so why not? Jump on.
So we're here doing the pitcher circle. Again, this is a two-person job, so that's why it's important to have at least two people or three helping you out. So you're going to set the base in the middle of the plate. The second person is going to go around, carving out the circle. So you should have a nice, perfect circle after doing this.
So it's fairly simple. Just follow the line. You have your little hatch opener, pull that up, and now you have chalk. So there's your little nose on your chalker. Just simply follow the line. Now make sure this is closed, because if it's up, right, so it's open, you start walking off the field, look what we're doing. We're making fun lines that don't need to be there. So make sure that that is closed. And then when you walk off the field, no line. So to set up the batter's box, you're going to want to match this little square up here. See how it matches up perfectly with the edge of the plate? You always want to match that up right there to there. And please note, the long side of the bracket always goes forward. And then it's pretty straightforward. I just step on it and make my guidelines. And then from here, take it straight as it sits, flip it straight over. That keeps the long side out, and you'll see why in a second when we actually draw the lines. So for actually doing the base lines, pretty simple. You have your stake, which is tied to a string. Very, very high tech right there. You're gonna hand that to your partner. He's gonna put that down behind. Same as how you measured your pitching plate, behind home plate there. And then you're just gonna pull the string straight out. So now you notice I'm all the way down to first base, and you notice the line goes right through between the safety orange bag and the regular bag. So after you pulled it past first base, you make sure it goes right through the middle of those two bags. You want to pull it all the way to the grass. You want to give the umpire a nice, easy line so he can see this foul line all the way through the grass.
So drive all the way up to the base, and then you can just pick it up and then start back on the other side.
Now once you've done your first base line, you're going to notice that my helper out there, again, multiple people helping, just simply pick up the line, walk straight over. You still have your nail in at home, so you can walk straight over to third base.
So for third base, just important to note that the string here, the rope, goes outside the base pad. So we don't have a double base like in first base, so just keep it on the outside here.
So basically 8 feet off of the baseline is where your batter's box will line up. And it's in the shape of an L, backwards L. So if you take your pitcher's mound template and roll it, and give yourself about 2 foot, that'll give you a nice 4 foot diameter circle to do your template for your on deck box.
If you're a little extra creative like I am, I like to do an R to support Rancho because, you know, we love our RC Ace. You can do the first letter of the college team. You can do a happy face, anything you want in there. Give the girls some chalk to kick around and have fun with. So we're going to recap real quick of all the steps that we just went through. The first and the most basic step is going to be get everything out of the bins. Now, if you're at the South Field at Red Hill or over at CMS, Cucamonga Middle School, there's going to be green bins with your supplies in them. So you want to get everything out that you need first.
The next step we did was we scrubbed the old lines, old chalk lines, so that you can start fresh. We scrubbed that and then dragged the field so that you can have a smooth field to re-chalk and to play.
Your next step is to wet the field using the sprinkler system. You'll need multiple volunteers to ensure that you don't have the potential for a sprinkler head to stick.
And remember, we just want a light dusting, so let it pass once to the left, once to the right, just so it gets a nice covering of water. You don't need to soak the fields, just nice easy covering, and that'll make the field easier to drag.
So next step, we laid down the bases, first, second, third. If we need a pitching mound, we'll set that up as well. After we set the bases and your pitching mound, we do the pitching circle.
And after you've scrubbed the lines, you've laid down your light dusting of water, then you're going to do the hand drag. Remember, you don't need to do all the way out to the outfield, all the way to the grass, just mostly the infield, and then most importantly that pitching circle and around home plate here. In case there are any divots, you want to flatten everything out for when you set your lines. Now we're showing, this is the finished product. So you got all your gear out, you did your light dusting, you did your hand dragging, you set your lines with your string, and now this is the final product. This is what we want it to look like. And we know you're volunteers, so we want it to look as best as we can. Again, good foul lines for the umpire to see, nice clear lines for the batter's box, nice clear pitching circle for the pitchers, anything to help out the girls and anything to help out these umpires to have some fair play. We also want to mention that if you are setting up the fields at CMS, Cucamonga Middle School, everything is going to be in the green bins. That's all we have over there is the green bins for you to get all your equipment out. And you're going to need to use a hose. So here at Red Hill, we have the valves. There you're going to just screw the hose on, same thing, nice light dusting, unscrew it, put the hose away, all back into the green bins, nice and simple. So putting everything away, we like to keep it as nice as possible. We know that there's going to be a lot going on after games. Chalker and rakes, all the bigger stuff goes into the big bin. And again, we're at the South Field at Red Hill. And then everything else, bases, the liner for this pitching circle, and the hand drags can all go right back in here.
All right, so when we lock this bin, oftentimes we see this being locked with this chain here. This is not the proper way of locking it, so never put a lock here. The lock is down here, so you got to lift this thing up, make sure it's all the way up, and then place the lock inside here. So again, the lock does not go here, it goes in here.
In case we haven't mentioned it, we have board members that run the ATVs. and run the John Deere. You guys don't have to touch it, just leave it alone. We're covered by insurance, you guys are not, so that's why we got you those hand drags. So stay away from the John Deere and stay away from the quads.